Hey guys, welcome to the Love of Books, Movies, and Happiness. My name's April. Today's book review is Christine Feehan's Vendetta Road, which is part of the Torpedo Inc. series, which is her it's a bike gang. Torpedo Inc. is a bike gang, a morally gray bike gang who's trying to live a normal, everyday life. Keyword is trying. For those of you who have read like Christine Feehan's the Drake Sisters series, and then read the next series, which is like the Drake sisters' cousin Blythe on the farm with her sisters that are best friends in that series, because I forgot the name of that series, then you'll somewhat be familiar with these guys, because this is where they kind of live in that area on the coast. In a small town of Casper. They've settled in. They are emotionally damaged biker gang who's been through absolute torment and back. And they're trying to live their lives, but things keep happening where that just doesn't work for them. A little quick background, I will be doing another video that goes more into depth over the whole series. But just a quick background so you understand this story. As children, and they're all from Russia, as children they were taken from various homes, or some were unfortunately sold by parents, that kind of thing, to a school. It was not really a school, it was more of a training ground for assassins and people that can just ruthlessly kill for the government without question. While there, they experienced absolute horrors and despicable things happened to them that shouldn't have, but it shaped who they are. And they survived by forming a gang and becoming each other's family, and to survive, they had to kill. And unfortunately, because this happened to them as children, and all that happened to them as children, it shaped them and who they are as adults. So, as adults, they've come back. They've come over from Russia. They're trying to get away from their past and try to live normally. But not only are they emotionally scarred and physically, in some cases, scarred by their past, they are also psychically talented in various ways. Each one has their own talent for what they can do. And they depend on each other. It works by them helping each other, and they've formed a very tight-knit family. They have a strong sense of justice, and they set out to try to rid the area of certain criminals. Not just the area, in general. Certain types of crimes will get their attention. Mainly anything to do with children or women being threatened or harmed, child abuse, other crimes against children, anything like that, they will step in, and in their own way they stop it. Hence the morally gray. They are all of them, boys and the men and the women, are able to kill in various ways. Some come off as scarier than others. And some just come off as nicer than others. It just depends on each one. This particular story is for the member whose nickname is Ice. His actual name is Isaak. Isaak Koval. Koval. Please understand before I begin this, I am probably saying names wrong, simply because I don't know the correct pronunciation for the Russian names, so I am very probably saying some of these incorrectly. So I do apologize. I'm doing my best. So Isaak Koval, also known as Ice, is in Las Vegas on a mission. Like, they go out and they do these missions. They're trying to track these criminals down, or they're out to rescue someone. So he's in the middle of a mission. He can't afford to be distracted because he's one of the ones that's trailing someone that's going to take them where he needs to get answers. He's a very important part of the mission. He has to stay focused, but while he's walking down the street trailing someone, he gets distracted in the biggest way, to the point that the others notice and have to call him back to the mission. He gets distracted by seeing a very beautiful woman across the street. She's wearing this dress that just stops him in his tracks, and he quite literally stops in his tracks and just kind of stares at her. He finds her absolutely stunning. She's clearly upset, and she's clearly with someone else. But he forgets where he's at for a minute, which could put him in danger because the people he's trailing are dangerous criminals themselves. So he gets called back to his mission, continues on with his mission, which they are rescuing a child from a dangerous situation. And after completing that mission, or at least that part of the mission, he thinks that he's never seeing this woman again, right? Meanwhile, the woman, and her name is, and I'm going to say her name wrong, but Soleil, which is French for sun, if I remember correctly. So I know I'm saying that wrong, but Soleil is this very beautiful woman that he's seen. And we kind of flip between his viewpoint onto hers for a minute, where she is trying to be forced into a marriage. The guy that she's been dating is trying to force her to get married when she has already said that we are not getting married. Up until now, he's been nothing but nice to her. He's been sweet, but he's also been controlling. He's kept her from meeting with any other friends. He's kind of cut her off from people. Only had her communicating with the people he wanted her to talk to. Just in general tried to just take control. When she finally told him, we're not getting married, he's like, fine, let's just, I'm sorry, I've been pressing you too much. Let's go to Vegas, have a little fun. Only when they get to Vegas, he then tells her that we're just going to go to a justice of the peace and get married here and now. You have 30 minutes. And obviously she's like, no, that's not happening. Which ticks him off to the point that his true colors come out and he assaults her. She goes in the bathroom to try and figure out how to get out of this situation, because obviously he's put bruises on her, so it's not worth being there for it. We're sticking with them. And overhears a phone conversation between him and someone else where they admit to killing her family lawyer, who'd been her one person to stand with her. Mind you, she's an orphan now because she lost her parents to a tragic crime, and then only had her lawyer to help her. And because he was backing her up against this guy, he got killed. Only she doesn't know that right away. So now she overhears this conversation where it's like, well, your lawyer's death isn't really an accident. We had him killed so we could get our guy in the place to convince her to just go through with the wedding. So she's obviously upset. Earlier in the day, She had slipped into a bathroom, a public bathroom, and ran into a woman by the name of Lanna, which is one of Ice's club sisters. And the woman had seen the bruises, already seen some bruises on her from the earlier disagreement with the guy. So she had told her, you need to get away. And Soleil had agreed, yeah, I do, She had said, if it gets dangerous or you're in any danger, here's my number. I'm here celebrating my brother getting married. I've got some other brothers with me. If you need help, give me a call. We will get you help right away. And she showed her club jacket, which is a Torpedo Inc. jacket that has like a tree on it with skulls at the bottom of the tree and then some other stuff on it. But it's very identifiable. So Soleil remembers this, right? She gets out of the hotel room and out of the bathroom and away from the guy who's chasing her because he knows that she's overheard the conversation. She's obviously not going to go through with this wedding that he's planning. She just wants to get away. And takes off down the strip. She knows that he's going to look at all the casinos and other hotels for her because that's what she's used to. She's used to the high society, someone always helping her lifestyle. So he's looking there. So she goes in the opposite direction to the seedier side of town, where all like the biker bars and the more dangerous areas are. And she's not thinking, she's just running at this point. Her main plan is to just get somewhere she feels safe and then call Lanna. That's what her plan is. Well, while she's running, she sees a biker bar and ends up running into this biker bar. Almost directly into Ice. See how this goes? Ice is at the bar, having finished celebrating their brother's wedding. He'd gone off with his wife to go have their honeymoon. Ice and the others are in the bar, going over the rest of the plan for the rest of the mission they're supposed to be on, plus giving themselves alibis for where they are, when she comes barging in. Very stunning, very beautiful, completely out of place, and absolutely terrified. That is obvious from the instant she barges in that she's terrified. Plus, they can see that she's got bruises on her, and it's clear she's been attacked. So she's explaining that she needs to find Lanna, Lanna, I think is how her name was pronounced. She's like, she said she'd help me, I need help. She had this jacket with a tree on it, and Ice shows her his jacket and goes, you mean like this? I'm one of her brothers. So Ice is automatically drawn to her, and she's drawn to Ice from the get-go. She's just like, oh, it's just instant attraction. The rest of the story follows as they cement their relationship rather quickly. This is not a slow-paced story. This is a very fast-paced story. And I should have put in a warning in the beginning. There's spoilers in this, but I'm trying not to spoil too much. That's like the basic how they met. And then the rest of the story is a mix of cementing their relationship, keeping her safe from the people trying to get to her now, because there's this whole group after her now, only to find out that without realizing it, they are also part of the original group that they were going after to begin with on the first mission. So it all ties into one big mess towards the end. This is a very, as I said, fast-paced, adrenaline, interesting, and sexy story. I'll full-on admit that. All of the Torpedo Inc. series are, in various ways, has an element of sexiness to it, but this one is just, this is one of my favorite stories. There is on the smut factor, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars on the smut factor. Just to warn you, it is a spicy story. Like, from like the, I'd say, second to third chapter, maybe fourth chapter on, there's spicy scenes. And it's not horrible. It is well written and fits in with the character and the story. Each Torpedo Inc. series book, each character, you get something different when it comes to the smut side of things. Like for some in another book, like Savage, I think I did a review on one of Savage's stories. He's one of the club members. He's more into sadism and gets more pleasure from pain of others as long as they're enjoying it too. A couple of the other club members, you get the ones that are more into control and dominance, and their whole thing is they need to be in absolute control, and they need someone who's going to do everything they tell them but also enjoy it. But they don't necessarily need pain. For Ice, you get more of the voyeuristic side of things. So it's, for him, it's more, you're going to see more examples of being out in public, being around others, being around his club members or at a party or somewhere, and things get going and he doesn't care. He gets off on knowing that others can see what's happening. But he's still possessive of her, doesn't want anyone else touching her. He just likes that others can see. In a controlled setting where he absolutely trusts those around him is the main thing. And what's nice is for each story, each character gets someone that fits with what they need. Ice's psychic talent is, some of the members can do like illusions. They can make people see things that aren't there. There's one member who can tell if you're telling the truth or lying when he touches you. He's like a human lie detector. There's another one who's got the skill of healing. So he's there to, he's the doctor of the people. He needs to heal people. Ice's talent is more knowing what the other guy is going to do. He's able to tell what the guy is going to do. He's able to counteract that with his own moves, and it gives him an upper hand in everything he does. And along with, they can all communicate psychically with each other. Soleil, I think that's how you say her name. Soleil is extremely empathic. Like, she's an empath. So she takes on everyone's emotions around her. She can also give peace to others and help reduce the emotions so that whatever you're feeling, the anger, the hurt, pain, whatever it is calmed down. And it doesn't affect you as badly. She helps Ice quiet his mind when his demons are going and he's got, his flashbacks are happening. She's able to step in and just quiet it all down for him, as well as help others with their emotions. When she's around, things calm down and come to a peace. So they're a good balance. If you are looking for a story that is fast-paced, very, very much erotic, morally gray character who's still a hero, and in that sense of family and connectedness mixed with bikers, this is definitely one of the books you need to pick up. Out of all of Torpedo Inc. series, I have my individual favorites, and Vendetta Road is one of them that is a very big favorite of mine. I love Soleil's character because she's very giving. She wants to be accepted. She wants to be surrounded by family. But because family in the past, aunts and uncles and such, essentially taught her from a young age that she doesn't deserve love or attention. And then guys in the past have proven that they were only with her for the money that she had in a trust fund. She's learned to be kind of away from everyone and be a loner, but she desperately wants to belong. And with Torpedo Inc., she gets that. She's all about ice. The connection is there. It's an absolute instantaneous connection for both of them. And she gets the family that she desperately needs, but it takes her a while to accept that she has family. You know, it's hard to go from being a loner to suddenly having family around you and understanding that you're accepted for who she is, and that's something I can connect with. Just from the loner perspective, I get that. So she's one of my favorite characters, and Ice as well, because he wants to do right by her and wants to do what's good for her, but he doesn't want to lose her. So half the time he's convinced that, the right thing is to send her away. She needs to be protected from this. I'm not right for her. But the other half of him is going, but she's mine. I don't want to lose her. Meanwhile, she's just sitting there trying to figure out how to make it all work and settle in. He's convinced that his past is going to scare her away. Well, she's just looking at him like, no, you got me. Now you keep me. We just have to work through it. So I love the dynamic in this because you get in different ways, you get two troubled people that balance each other. Where he is weak, she is stronger. Where she is weak, he is stronger. And it's nice. It makes it really enjoyable. There are some very funny scenes in here. There's a few scenes where you're going to laugh. A few scenes you're going to cringe. But overall, would definitely say you'd enjoy this book. All right, guys, let me know what you think of it. Would you see how to phrase that question? If you were to, let's put it this way. If you were to walk into a bar or be introduced to Ice and Soleil by the end of the book, and as they are as a couple, are they a couple you would hang out with? Yes or no? And, let me know what you thought of the book as well. Is it something you enjoyed? Is this one of the stories where you're just like, I could leave it, or it just wasn't my style? Let me know. I'm always curious to hear on what others think. Overall, I give the entire book 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, it's well written, it's fast paced, characters are believable. I will say, and I'll put this in the description, but as a warning, throughout all of the Torpedo Inc. books, And definitely in this one, you're going to have trigger warnings of mentions of child abuse, mentions of child harm, mentions of assault and rape, and a few other things. So just be aware as you read this that's within the book. Other than that, enjoy. All right, guys. Till next time, keep reading.